When you think wind turbine, what do you see? Probably this huge machine, right? Blades turning in the wind. But honestly, in today's world, that's just chapter one. The real story, the one we're going to talk about, isn't just about building a machine. It's about managing a strategic asset for its entire 25-year life. For the longest time, the playbook for the wind industry was pretty straightforward. Scale up. The whole philosophy was more turbines means more green energy. So the race was on to just get as many of these things in the ground as fast as possible. Right. And that simple goal leads to a much trickier question, the one that's completely changed the game. What happens next? What happens in year 5, or year 15, or even year 25? Thinking about that is what turned this whole industry from a short sprint into a total marathon. Okay, so let's dive into that. The industry is making this huge shift away from just counting how many turbines they've built. Now it's all about squeezing every bit of value out of each one for its entire life. And that is a massive change in how they think. And to really get why this matters, you just have to look at the sheer scale of what's already out there. I mean, look at this. By the end of 2024, China alone is going to have over 520 gigawatts of wind power. So you see, the challenge isn't just building more anymore. It's about getting smart and managing the massive fleet we already have. And that brings us to this big idea, the core of this whole shift: life cycle project management. Basically, it means you stop obsessing over just the upfront price tag. Instead, you're thinking about the whole shebang, the total cost and value over that entire 20 or 25-year journey from the first sketch to the final day. And here's the kicker. This whole long-term game plan, it starts way before anyone even pours a drop of concrete. The success or failure of a 25-year project is pretty much decided right there at the drawing board. Yeah, the days of a one-size-fits-all turbine are long gone. I mean, think about it. If you're building in northwest China, you're dealing with sandstorms and freezing cold. So you're going to need taller towers and special sand-resistant designs. But then you go to the coast, and it's a totally different world, right? You've got salt spray and lower winds, so you need anti-corrosion coatings and these massive blades. Every single project is its own custom-engineered beast. So, what's the big takeaway from all this planning? It's that the goal isn't just to make the turbine spin. Nope. The real prize is maximizing the energy you get out of that specific spot consistently for its entire 25-year life. We're talking about a marathon of performance, not just a sprint on the windiest day of the year. All right, so the plans are locked in. Now comes the part that just blows your mind: turning those computer models into actual towering giants. And honestly, the scale of this operation is just wow. Okay, try to picture this. A single blade, just one, can be over 100 meters long. That is longer than a professional football field. Can you even imagine trying to drive that thing down winding roads? It's this incredible, massive ballet of logistics. And then you look up. We're talking towers that can soar over 140 meters high. That's taller than a 40-story building. And lifting components that weigh hundreds of tons up that high? You need unbelievable surgical-level precision. But you know what's wild? The biggest challenge often isn't the crane or the engineering. It's Mother Nature. The crews are in this constant dance with the weather, waiting for that perfect tiny window of calm. We're talking winds under 10 meters per second, just so they can safely hoist these massive pieces into place. So getting these things built is an amazing feat. But really, it's just the opening act. The main event, this 25-year digital marathon, is just getting started. Once a turbine is up and running, the focus flips completely from brute strength to pure brain power. Welcome to the era of smart operations. So maintenance has completely changed. You know, back in the day, it was all reactive. You'd schedule a checkup, and when something finally broke, you'd send a crew out to fix it. But now, it's all about being predictive. These turbines are loaded with sensors, constantly streaming data on everything, letting operators spot a problem and fix it before it ever leads to a shutdown. And this isn't just some nice idea. It actually works. Modern systems can predict when a part is about to fail with over 85% accuracy. Think about that. That means less downtime, and even more important, it means fewer people have to go into those high-risk situations. This chart really spells it out. Look at this. A whopping 65% of a smart platform's time is dedicated to just analyzing data. The actual alerts and repair plans, That's the smaller piece of the pie. The real work has shifted from turning wrenches to crunching numbers. And this quote just nails it perfectly. The job of the operations and maintenance crew isn't really about repairing machines anymore. It's about managing data. That's the entire game right there. Okay, but what happens when a turbine hits that 25-year mark? When it reaches the end of its design life? Do you just tear it down? Well, not always. This is where things get really fascinating. It's time for either rebirth or retirement. One of the key strategies here is this idea of replacing the small with the big. So instead of just walking away from a perfectly good windy spot, operators are taking down the old, smaller turbines and putting up a few of the new, massive, super powerful ones in their place. And the results are just staggering. Take this project in Chongqing. They took out 35 old turbines and put in just 21 new ones. But look at that power difference. Each new turbine is 4 to 5 times more powerful, so you're getting way more energy with fewer machines on the exact same piece of land. That is a huge win for efficiency. Now, of course, it's not as simple as just swapping them out. Repowering has its own headaches, from navigating a maze of new regulations and grid agreements to the crazy high cost of ripping out those old concrete foundations. It's a really complex puzzle to solve. So if you take away one thing from all this, let it be this. The most valuable part of a modern wind project isn't the physical steel tower itself. It's the intelligence. It's the 25-year plan that's baked in from day one, designed to squeeze every last bit of value out of that asset. And that leaves us with a big question to chew on. As we build these incredible energy systems for the future, what's the real challenge? Is it inventing the next big piece of tech? Or is it developing the sophisticated, long-term intelligence we need to manage that technology for its entire lifetime?